Magandang araw! Sama-sama tayong matuto sa Teacher Sal Learning Resource Channel.
Revised K-12 Curriculum Science 3 Quarter 2 Week 5. Our topic is all about characteristics of living things. Can you guess what is on the table? Is it an animal or a plant? It is a plant. How did you know that it is a plant and not an animal? Are there animal body parts that you do not see in plants? Yes. What are they? Plants do not have head, tails, feet, or wings like animals do. How do you usually know about plant body parts? What body parts do you think will help you identify if the living thing is an animal or a plant? Body parts that can help me identify that a living thing is a plant are leaves and flowers. Any other body parts that can distinguish a plant from an animal? Plants have roots, while animals do not have roots. Our lesson purpose: what are the common basic parts that can help us tell that a living thing is most likely a plant? Do the plant body parts of different plants look alike? In what way do they look similar? In what way do they look different? These are some of the questions we will have in mind as we learn more about plants' body parts. Let's define these terms. Serrated. Look at the edges of this knife. They are like small teeth. This is called serrated. Here's a leaf with serrated edges. Example given, rose leaf. Leaves with serrated edges help collect sunlight better. Can you trace your finger like this? Herbaceous. Look at the real stem of an okra plant. Describe the stem of the okra plant. What is its color? It is green. Touch and press the stem. Is it hard as wood? No. After describing the stem of an okra plant, we can say that the okra's stem is herbaceous. Woody. Look at the real stem of a rose plant. Describe the stem of a rose plant. What is its color? Touch it and press it. Is it hard as wood? Yes. Try to rub your finger on the stem. Is it rough or smooth? It is rough. After you have described its stem, we can therefore say that the stem of the rose plant is woody. Let's have activity 1. What are the parts of a plant? Part 1. Here are the materials needed. The duration of the activity is good for 25 minutes. Take a look at this picture. Gumamela. Next, banana. Tomato. Eggplant. Oregano. Bougainvillea. Rose. Recall and enumerate the plants that you remember in your community. As pictures of plants are shown by your teacher, identify each one of them. Form 4 groups. As a group, you will be assigned a plant which will be provided by your teacher. Group 1, Mayana. Group 2, Rose plant. Group 3, Okra plant. Group 4, Oregano. Identify the parts of your assigned plant by placing a small tag that will identify the plant's parts. The tags are roots, stem, and leaves. Here is the table to be used. Afterwards, go around and try checking the other plants of the other 4 groups and see if there is something common among the plants. Using the table, place a check if these plant parts are present. What are the 3 common parts you saw in all plants? Roots, stem, and leaves. How are plant parts similar or different from one another? Some plant parts differ in their shape and size. Some leaves have similar shapes, but some leaves are bigger and wider than leaves of other plants. Some stems have thorns, while some have smooth surfaces. Some stems are woody, while some are greenish in color. Compare Mayana and Oregano. These 2 plants are the Mayana and the Oregano. What plant part do you see in the center? They are leaves. In what are their leaves different? Oregano leaves are usually green, but the Mayana leaves are reddish-purple. Observe the edges of the leaves. What do you notice? They have tooth-like edges. How did we describe the edges of the bread knife in our language practice? It is serrated. So how would you now describe the edges of the Mayana and Oregano? They are also serrated. These are the rose plant and the tomato plant. What plant part is at the center of the picture? The stems. Let's compare the stem of the rose and that of tomato plant. How are they different? The stem of the tomato is green, while the other rose plant has thorns and brownish in color. Do you remember the words herbaceous and woody? Which stem do you think is herbaceous and which one is woody? The stem of the tomato is herbaceous and the stem of the rose is woody. What else do you see on the stem of the rose plant? It has thorns. Have you ever touched the stem of rose plant? How does it feel getting pierced by its thorn? The thorn can hurt. Why do you think it has thorns? How is this helpful for plants? It will keep animals from touching it. Complete the sentence by writing the correct words in the blanks in your notebook. After you finish, raise your hand. Read your complete sentence aloud. The basic parts of the plants are the blank, blank, and blank. What parts are being asked in this illustration of a representative plant? Write the name of the part. You're right. The first one is leaf, stem, and roots. For day 2. Let's draw a plant from what you remember. Don't forget the roots, stem, and leaves. After drawing, look at your stem. Where is it growing? Up, down, or sideways? Look at your roots. Are they long, short, or spreading out like little threads? What about the leaves? Are they big, small, round, or pointy? Let's share. What shapes did you draw for each part? Who can tell me which part of the plant brings water from the ground? You're right, roots. Which part stands tall and holds the leaves? The stem. Which part makes food from sunlight? Leaves. Let's think. Are all stems straight? Are all leaves the same shape? Today, we will find out. Look at this carrot. What shape is it? Long, short, thick, thin. Do you think it grows above or below the ground? Why? Here's ginger or luya. Does it look like a root or a stem? Why do you think plants have this part under the soil? Look at the cactus. Where are its leaves? Could these sharp spines be its leaves? Why do you think cactus leaves look like this? How might this help the plant live in a hot place? How are their plant parts help them survive in their surroundings? In this lesson, we will discover the many shapes of plant parts and why they are different. These shapes help plants survive in different places. Let's define these terms. Underground. The roots of this plant grow underground. They are under the soil. Why do you think roots grow underground? It means it is buried in the soil. What do they get from the soil? Roots grow underground to get water and hold the plant. Spikes. Look closely at the cactus. What do you see? There is something pointed from their stems. If you grab hold of the cactus, what would you feel? I will get hurt. What hurts you when you hold the cactus are the spikes of the cactus. An animal gets near it. Will it be able to eat the cactus? No. Why? Because it will get hurt by the spikes. Yes, these spikes will make other animals avoid it. Let's have activity 2. What are the parts of a plant? Part 2. Duration is 25 minutes. Observe the eggplant shown on the screen. What plant parts other than the roots, stem, and leaves do you also see? And circle it in the illustration on the next page and name it. Let us identify some plant parts that are quite different from what we usually see. Observe the cactus plant. What plant parts can you see? Draw connecting lines to match their parts. Here are the expected answers. Observe the growing carrot. What are the plant parts that you can identify? Draw connecting lines to match their parts. Here's the expected answer. Observe the lotus plant growing in a pond. What plant parts can you identify? Draw connecting lines to match their parts. Here is the expected answer. Pick up a potted plant. Try to tilt the potted plant on one side. Did the plant fall to the ground? No. Why do you think so? What keeps it from falling from the pot? The roots keep it from falling. If sunlight is only on one side of the plant and dark on the other side, what does the stem do so that leaves can get as much light as possible? It bends where there is more light. Plants make food using the energy from the sun. What plant part gets this energy? The leaves get the energy from the sun. Which plant part of the cactus protects it from animals? The leaves. How does it protect the cactus? It has spikes that can hurt anybody, and so animals will avoid it. Which plant part in the carrot stores food? The root. Can you also name other examples of plants that store food in their roots? Radish. All stems grow above the ground, while all roots are found underground. Do you agree? Who has seen this? Who eats tinola? What does it look like? Is it smooth or bumpy? Bumpy like toes. Is this a root, a stem, or a leaf? It's a stem. Leaves grow from it when planted. This stem grows underground to store food. That's why it's thick and strong. What do you see near the water? Are those stems or roots? They are roots. But are they all found underground? No, they are above water. Right, these roots grow above ground because they help the tree get air. Underwater, roots can't breathe. So you notice that part of the roots are seen above to get air, but part of its roots are underwater. Get the water for the plant to live. Do all roots grow underground? No. Can you make a better statement? Some roots grow above ground, and some stems grow underground. Plant parts can look different, but they always help the plant survive. Supply the missing words using the choices. Protection, roots, stems, leaves, food, light. Plant parts differ among plants in so many ways, but they also have important roles for the plant to survive. Blank, keep the plant anchored on the soil so that it stays in place. Hold and support the leaves which get blank from the sun. Other plant parts also have special uses. The blank of the carrot and the blank of the ginger can be used to store blank. The spiky blank of the cactus gives blank from animals that would get near it. Here are the correct answers: roots, stems, light, roots, stems, food, leaves, and protection. Label each plant part and select the letter of the correct function of each part. Here is the correct answer. For day 3, let's have a quick view of plant parts. Let's name the plant part that I will describe. So what plant parts help the plant stay in its place? You're right, they are roots. What supports and holds the leaves? Stem. What plant part gets energy from the sun? Leaves. However, some plant parts also do other functions. In the ginger, as my example, do you remember the plant part of the ginger where food is stored? It is the stem. Remember the plant part in the carrot that we usually eat? What plant part of the carrot stored food? It is the root. Spikes of the cactus provide protection from other animals that might eat it. What plant part is it that provides protection? Leaves. We have seen that plant parts do something for the plant in order to live, but there is one important task that plants need in order to live, and that is the need to get water from the soil. Can you describe what you see on the screen? I see a man using a garden sprinkler to water the plants. Why do you think he needs to do it? If he does not water the plants, what could possibly happen to his plants? Plants might not become healthy. So what does each plant part do to get water from the soil? We will find that out. Have you ever been thirsty? What do you usually feel when you are thirsty? I feel like drinking a lot of water. How did you feel after you drank water? I feel better. Do you think plants also get thirsty like us? What do you notice on the leaves of plants when it does not get enough water? They become brown, they curl up or droop down. So just like us, when we lack water, we don't feel right and become thirsty, so we drink lots of water to quench our thirst. But when you see leaves drying up, we don't put water on the leaves itself. We water the plants by sprinkling water on the soil. So why should the soil be watered regularly and not the leaves of plants? We will find out when we find out what roles does each plant part has in getting water from the soil. Transport. Watch the YouTube video about water movement in stems. Color changing flowers experiment. Biology. What happened to the flowers after the stem was dipped in a colored liquid? It changed in color. How did the colored liquid reach the flowers? It went up to the stems. Yes, we can say that the colored liquid was transported to the flowers, and we see the changes in the color of the petals. To transport means to move an object from one place to another. So, how was the colored liquid transported? Upward or downward? It is upward. How about you? How do you come to school? By riding on a jeep. We can say that the jeepney transported you to school. For the past 7 days, we were given withered plants and you watered them to see if there will be observable changes in their plant parts. I took pictures of your plants from day 1 to day 7. By observing changes, we will be able to find out what role does each plant part have in getting water from the soil. Here are the materials needed. Oregano plant with drooping leaves, water, sprinkler. Duration, it is good for 25 minutes. Look at the oregano plant. Describe how it looks. Take turns in watering the wilted plant for 7 days. Describe the plant after watering it for 7 days. Compare the plant to how it was a week ago. And describe the observed changes. What changes have you seen in the plant after it was watered for 7 days? The leaves start to rise a bit. The stem is standing upright or straight again. After watering the plant for 7 days, where do you think some of its water went? It went to the roots. Get a well-watered plant, pick a leaf from the plant, and crumple it like what do you do on a piece of paper. Squeeze the leaf and observe. What came out? Where do you think it came from? Explain how each plant part help in getting water from the soil. Roots absorb the water from the soil. The stem carried the water up to reach the leaves. Leaves get the water carried by the stem. Let's read this. Mika thought of spraying the leaves of her plants instead of watering the soil. She thought that spraying water only on the leaves will bring water faster to the plants. Aya, on the other hand, waters her plants by just watering the soil without getting their leaves wet. Which plants grew better? Aya's plants will grow better than Mika's plants. Why do you think so? Aya's plants will grow better because plants get water from the soil using their roots. Mika's plants will not grow as healthy as those of Aya because the soil does not get a lot of water that the roots absorb. Supply the missing word in the statement by selecting the word from the choices below. Leaves, stem, absorb, roots, transport. Plants get water from the soil where it is planted. The blank of the plant blank the water in the soil, while the blank of the plant blank the water up until it reaches the blank. Here are the correct answers. Roots, absorb, stems, transport, leaves. Check if the following statements are correct or not. If not, correct the statement by changing only one word. Water in the leaves moves to the stem. Water in the stem moves up to the roots. Water in the soil is first absorbed by the leaves. Here are the correct answers. For day 4. What have we learned about plants in the previous lesson? Plants get water from the soil. How about the plant parts? What do the roots do? They absorb water from the soil. What does the stem do? It carries the water up to the leaves. What do the leaves do? It receives the water from the stem. Now that you know how plants get water from the soil, let's ask ourselves, do you think water is the only need that plants get from the soil? What else do you think they get from the soil? Have you ever seen a farmer putting something in the soil? Farmers grow healthier plants when they add something in the soil. It is called fertilizer. Fertilizers have nutrients that make plants healthier, grow taller, and more fruitful. Have you ever wondered why the farmer puts fertilizer in the soil and not on the plant itself? The plants will get the fertilizer from the soil, just like how it gets water from the soil. So we will find out the role of each plant part in getting nutrients from the soil. Remember the time when your mother tells you to eat more vegetables and fruits. Why do you think they always remind you about what you eat? So that we stay healthy and not get sick. Plants, just like us, can become healthy if they get nutrients from the soil. So we will now find out how plant parts play a role in getting nutrients from the soil where they are planted. Let's define the term fertilizer. Class, a farmer is putting something in the soil. Why do you think he needs to put something in the soil? So that his plants will grow better and healthier. What he is adding in the soil is called fertilizer. So, if his plants are producing fruits, how will adding fertilizer affect his crops? It will produce more fruits. It will produce bigger fruits. Nutrients. Have you tried looking at the nutrition label on the Tetra Pak of an orange juice, just like what you are looking now? Yes. What do you usually see in these nutrition labels? The label is about vitamins and minerals. This nutrition labels is telling us that the juice you are drinking have these vitamins and minerals. They are called nutrients. Are you familiar with some of the vitamins that you heard before? Can you identify one? Vitamin C. Nutrients are important in the body because they help you become healthier and stronger. Plants also need nutrients as well. So farmer put fertilizers in the soil so that the plants will become healthier. So, just like the food we eat, fertilizers also contain nutrients. Today, we will make a collage which will show the role of how each plant part when getting nutrients from the soil. We will have a group activity, and each group must be able to present a collage using only household materials. How do plants get nutrients from the soil? Bring the following: green plastic bags or candy wrappers, yellow plastic bags or candy wrappers, brown, and yarn, and of course, a marker. For the materials needed, the duration of the activity is good for 25 minutes. Watch a MP4 video clip about the effect of adding fertilizer on the growth of a banana plant. What did you notice on the banana plant after receiving fertilizer? What plant part grew and became bigger? The leaves grew bigger. What do you think the roots do when fertilizer is added to the soil? The nutrients of the fertilizer are being absorbed by the roots. How did the nutrients reach the leaves? What plant part did it? The stems carried the nutrients up to reach the leaves. So for this activity, we will now use your answers to show how each plant part played a role in getting the nutrients from the soil. Form your groups now and take out the materials you need for making the collage. Make a collage with the title, How Do Plants Get Nutrients from the Soil? Use common household materials to make plant parts. In the collage, you must have the following: a plant showing its parts labeled correctly, roots, stem, and leaves. A short description about what each plant part does to get nutrients from the soil. The description should be near the plant part it is describing. Let's see your work if you were able to show how plants get nutrients from the soil. I will check each work posted on the board. Rating of output. Let's read the problem. Alice tried to see if the fertilizer she bought can make her plant grow taller. So she conducted an experiment using two plants in setup A and the other plant is in setup B. Setup A, 50 grams fertilizer plus 50 grams garden soil. Water daily. In setup B, 100 grams soil, no fertilizer added, not water received. Dina, her friend, noticed that there is something wrong with her setup. Can you spot her mistake? Setup B was not watered daily like setup A. How can this mistake affect the result of her experiment? If the plant in setup A becomes healthier than the plant in setup B, we will not know if the absence of fertilizer or the lack of water is the reason why the plant in setup B did not grow as tall as setup A. So in order to correct the experiment, what should be done on setup B? The plant in setup should also be watered daily like setup A. Let's say that after correcting setup B, the experiment continued for several days. The plants in setup A grew taller than the plant in setup B. What can we say about the fertilizer applied on setup A? It was effective. It is a good fertilizer. What plant part was able to absorb the nutrients of the fertilizer in the soil? Roots. Which plant part carried the nutrients to the leaves? It is the stem. Which plant part receives the nutrients from the fertilizer? The leaves. How would you know that the leaves get nutrients from the fertilizer? The leaves grew bigger or longer. Supply the missing words to complete the statements about how plants get nutrients from the soil. Plants get not only water but also blank from the soil. They use their blank to absorb the nutrients from the soil where it is planted. Afterwards, the blank carries the nutrients up to the blank. When blank is added to the soil, the nutrients really reach the leaves as the leaves grow healthier, greener, and bigger. Here are the correct answers: nutrients, roots, stems, leaves, fertilizer. For your formative assessment, give the correct sequence of steps taking place when a plant gets nutrients from the soil by writing the number on the space provided for each statement, with 1 being the first step, Then write the correct plant part that does this function. Receives the nutrients from the stem. Plant part carries the nutrients to the leaves. Absorbs the nutrients from the soil. Here are the correct answers.